Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Today we're talking about something truly special. Something that makes a mockery of aerodynamics, scoffs at braking zones, and laughs in the face of subtlety. We're talking about the Generation 4 NASCARs that have just hit the iRacing service. My career on iRacing has seen me tackle everything from nimble rallycross cars to chunky V8 supercars, but nothing, and I mean nothing, quite prepared me for the sheer, brutish American muscle that is this NASCAR behemoth. I'll admit, my initial thought when these cars got announced wasn't exactly, oh goody, just what I needed. Let's just say when it comes to oval racing, my pit crew already thinks I'm a permanent resident of the wall. So, with that said, I'm going to stay in my lane today, and rather than take this historic race car to an oval where it belongs, well, today, we're going to be turning right. Now, you might be thinking, a NASCAR on a road course? That's like trying to parallel park a battleship. And well, you're not wrong. This thing is less nimble sports car and more of a land yacht. We're talking about a genuine chonker, weighing in at a substantial 1,540 kilograms, all wrapped around a steel tube frame chassis. It's a proper brute of a thing, and don't even get me started on the 4-speed transmission. It requires a serious delicate touch, and if you mistime a downshift, be prepared for a whole lot of wheel hop and a bucket load of lost time. Trust me, I've lost several buckets. Power-wise, this car is wild. With 900 horsepower roaring from that V8, getting out of slower corners is an exercise in extreme patience and precision. At a track like Watkins Glen where you can carry a decent amount of minimum corner speed, it's not too bad. You can let the car stretch its legs a little bit. But take it to a circuit like Sonoma and you're entering a whole new dimension of tricky. The slow speed final corner at Sonoma in particular demands almost zen-like control of the throttle. The smallest hint of wheel spin? Death sentence! I even managed to find myself wheel spinning in 3rd gear down the back straight at Portland. This thing is truly insane. On the flip side, the braking is a little more forgiving. You can get away with a small lock-up here and there, which is nice when you're hurtling towards a hairpin in a car that feels like it has the aerodynamics of a brick. However, the braking distances are a complete mental reset for anyone used to dedicated road course machinery. Even compared to the super heavy Gen 3 V8 supercar, which I'm quite familiar with, this Gen 4 car feels significantly worse under braking. It's almost comical how much road it eats up. But despite the extended braking zones, it's undeniably fun. And here's a little secret for all you aspiring Gen 4 racers. The engine can take an absolute beating when it comes to engine braking. It's incredibly effective in this car, and all my fast laps were achieved with zero mechanical sympathy whatsoever. Sorry engineers. The force feedback on this car actually caught me off guard. Initially, it felt incredibly light, almost as if I had my wheel turned down significantly with very little sensation of the track surface. My brain, being the logical, well-adjusted organ it is, imagined a NASCAR would require some serious wrestling, like trying to steer a runaway fire truck. But then I hit a curb, or a wall, and it became abundantly clear that my force feedback was in fact set at the correct level. That initial lightness in the steering wheel was very uncomfortable, to be honest. I actually had to dive into my wheel settings and turn up the minimum force feedback just to give myself a bit more feel and wheel weight. Once that was sorted, the force feedback was right back on par with the rest of the cars on the sim, giving me that crucial feedback I rely on. In terms of car setup, for this review I primarily stuck with the iRacing track specific setups, which I felt did a great job. I did play around a little bit with the brake bias to get it closer to my personal preference, because even a garbage oval driver has some preferences. Otherwise, the vast majority of the setup page was a complete mystery to me. I can't say I've ever needed to adjust the link slack before this car. I also found the wide range of tyre pressures pretty interesting as well, and while I did find some gains going slightly lower on the pressures, I don't think slamming it to the minimum allowed is the definitive answer either. The overall vibe of the Gen 4 NASCARs on a road course is undoubtedly that of a brute. It's a complete handful, no question about it. but when it all clicks over a single lap, oh, the reward is immense. It's a truly exhilarating experience and a great car to drive. I'm not entirely convinced I'm talented enough to ever understand how rewarding it would be when it all clicks over a full race distance, but hey, a man can dream. And let's talk about the sound, oh my lord! It absolutely has that classic NASCAR roar. It sounds phenomenal on the replay cameras, and even better when you're strapped into the cockpit. That V8 screaming its glorious song is a proper eardrum shattering symphony. Whilst I've never been a NASCAR diehard, I genuinely appreciate the appeal and aesthetic of this era of cars. They've got an enormous fan base that has been crying for years for these cars to finally make it to the sim, and honestly, I'm stoked for that community that have finally got what they wanted. It's a blast to drive, even for a road racer like myself. So, for the verdict, can I recommend this car as a must-buy if you're a road course only driver? If you're after one of the craziest, most challenging and ultimately most rewarding driving experiences on iRacing, then you cannot miss these cars. If you're a NASCAR fanatic and you live and breathe the oval scene, then yes, without a shadow of a doubt, this is one of the biggest must-buys to hit the iRacing service in years for that part of the community. Just remember, as a garbage oval driver myself, I'll be sticking to the corners that turn both left and right, but this thing is a bucket of fun.